Hey, I'm Sandra Namoto, and this is my video documenting how I paid off over 10K in debt in 22 months. So first of all, I'm 38, I am married with no kids, so that is just a snapshot of who I am, because I know everybody's at a different level. So that gives you an idea of kind of what my living situation is in 2020. And the first thing I have to say about how I did this is first, obviously, try not to get into debt in the first place. So don't live beyond your means is the biggest thing for that. And how I accumulated this pile of debt is first I got a credit line. So I was previously banking with RBC, and I banked with them for a really long time. But it wasn't until I want to say 2007 or 2008, when I was still pretty young into my career, that I got a random phone call from them, and they said, hey, you qualify for a credit line, sign up for one with us. And I didn't really know why it was important to have one, but I was like, hey, it's no charge. So that's what I did. And the credit line is what I used to pay off some credit card bills that were outstanding. So instead of paying off or accumulating 20% of interest on my credit card, I would pay off the entire bill using my credit line, which was only about 6 or 8%. I can't remember. This debt kind of accumulated over a really long time. I would say I wasn't really actively using the credit line until probably about 2013. So that was, 5 years into my business. And so from that point on up until 2018, when I closed my business, a lot of that debt I accumulated from using the credit line when I wasn't able to pay my household bills for the month. So if I couldn't pay myself a salary, I still wanted to pay off my bills. And so I dipped into the credit line, and that would be, only a couple of $100 sometimes. Sometimes it was $1,000, a little bit more. So that's how I accumulated it. It wasn't like a huge chunk. I don't have expensive buying habits, so it wasn't like I bought something big at once. The only thing that contributed to it being as much as it was getting married. And so my husband and I were so lucky to get most of our wedding expenses paid for by friends of family or our family. But we, of course, had our own expenses that we had to pay for. So for example, for me, I bought my own wedding dress. I customized it. The biggest wedding expense that I paid for was getting my hair done. And that was like $600-700 to get my hair colored, not including the day of preparation. So if you want to get your hair colored before your wedding and you're going to spend that much anyway, I highly recommend that you go to a local hairdresser that you trust. Don't go to a big brand name salon like I did, because they're going to charge higher. So at least you're supporting local if you do need to make that investment. And don't invest in fancy colored shampoos like I did, because my god sis who now cuts my hair and colors my hair, she says that as long as you are using natural products that don't have sulfates, you don't have to buy like especially red or purple shampoo like I did. That's how I got sucked in for an extra $100. So yeah, if you're getting married, congratulations to you. If you can avoid having an expensive wedding and dipping into debt like I did a little bit, that would be great. So at the start of my, official journey to paying off my debt, it was October 2018. So that's tracking the 22 months since attempting. So my debt at that point was just over $8,600, but that did accumulate in total to over $10,000 because I kept dipping in, like I said, again, borrowing another $2,000 or so or just under $2,000 over the course of that time. And, it's hard being a freelancer, it's hard being a business owner and paying your bills sometimes. So if you are in that boat, especially this year, I hear you, I've been there. So again, the keys to my paying off the debt in 22 months is first, don't spend on what you don't need. While I wouldn't consider my shopping habits necessarily frugal, where I'm penny pinching, I do buy the products that I need when it comes to making my groceries and cooking my meals. I did save up for travel, so the few times that I did travel in the last couple of years, I saved up for that separately, so I wouldn't have to be dipping into my credit line to pay for that. Obviously, just have good spending habits. And this was the key to it all, is when you're running a business, charge what you're worth and don't settle for anything less, because paying myself what I wanted to was really key to this whole thing. 2020 has been my best earning year, and that is really how I was able to do it. You know, paying it off in chunks of $25 or $50 really isn't going to get you that far in the short term. You have to put in large chunks like $500, $1,000 or more. So that's really the key to how I did it. There's nothing really extraordinary that I did. And I also want to say that I don't think credit lines are necessarily bad. They're a good thing to have access to, especially if you're anticipating emergencies. And to have access to a credit line, you have to have good credit, which means you still need to have good spending habits. Also, bank with a credit union. Yes, I got my credit line from RBC, and that was really the only thing tying me to RBC. So when I switched over to Vancity, which is a credit union, and now that I've paid off my credit line, I've canceled my account, and that is just one burden off my shoulders that I don't need to worry about paying account fees to. And besides, the world's worst industries are run by banks. That's where all of your bank fees are going to. It only takes a quick Google search to find out what types of industries your banks are investing in and using your money to invest in. It's pretty much all of the modern slavery industries. So if you can support your local credit union, Vancity is amazing. Everyone is a member and they all put the dollars back into the community. And one last tip for paying off my debt, I have to say I did a lot of chakra work in the last month or so of 2019. I've continued those practices well into 2020. And chakra work is just really all about taking care of yourself and feeling good. I don't have time to go into a whole post about chakra work, but in essence, if you still feel good about yourself, no matter how much debt you have, that is really the key to paying it off, in my opinion, because you have to be in a really good emotional space and be grateful for the work that you have so that you can be in a powerful position to pay off that debt and to eventually get into a better place. So do chakra work. Feel good as much as possible, especially if you're a woman of color. You know, we need to see your face. We need you to succeed. I want to succeed. I want you to succeed. And that's really going to be the key to us rising up, and also gender equity and all that. So I hope this video was helpful. I thought it would be for some of you who may still be in that debt boat. So thanks again, and hope to see you in another video.